more in the know than we were. He knew that Andy wasn't coming back, even though we didn't.
So he's right. He's the perfect guy because at least he's smart. So you got a smart guy on your team.
Yeah, I mean, but on top of that, the fact that he's playing was right on the money. And he walked into the room and we looked at him and we said, boom. You know, it was so fell into place. It was like sweet justice in a way.
Yeah. Okay, we go down the list. John, this is a three-parter. Have you broken up with Renee? Are you engaged? When are you getting married?
No, and have no plans.
Okay, so you're not breaking, you haven't broken up, you're not engaged, and you have no plans to get married.
That's right.
I thought I heard someone scream out there. Okay. Why do you always go out with models? I'm sorry, it's on the paper.
It's a long story.
Just for
Ask Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen. Okay, that's the. Okay. When are you going on tour?
Going on tour, we're going to start in February down in Australia, and we'll be coming right away around the world. It's going to last about 6 months, 5 or 6 months, and if I can keep my concentration.
So sorry.
So you had to get on TV.
I did.
Just wait till your mum. Oh God, this is too much.
Where are you going to start in Australia?
Why?
Why don't you start in Canada?
Because we want to be good. We want to be
important to see.
Is it really that bad?
All right.
I've got a question. I've got a question for you. I've got a question for you.
You're like, oh no. Okay. Yes.
Oh, actually, I've got a question. No, I don't know. It's not really a question. Who's this? Somebody, apparently, I heard today, one of the guys who interviewed me today was telling me that he watched this program, and somebody on the, a VJ here was announcing that I was selling my boat for £300 million. Is it a guy called Brad here? Is there something called Brad?
Oh, you'd be lucky, Charlie.
And he said, get in touch with him. No, right. This guy, he said it cost £1 million a week to run. I mean, I just wondered, does this guy read his script before he looks at the auto cue?
Why don't you tell us?
He reads The Sun. That's his trouble.
The Sun, you got it. Well, what is the story? Because that's another question.
What? The boat.
Why are you selling your boat?
What's the story with the boat?
Yes, that's exactly it.
That boat story. But after it sunk, it took us halfway around the world. I love it. The people in the studio always laugh. It's great. It's
but
really
I can't even understand what you're saying.
I said that we turned over.
Fortune, isn't it?
We sailed it around the world. We came third in the round the world race, and I'm about to take a holiday on it, and it's going to go. We'll sell it because I mean it's the kind of thing which you do once and once only.
How much are you selling it for?
As much as anybody will pay for it.
All right, you know, there's prospective rich Canadians here. You know, you never know. They might want to buy the boat. Do a little sales pitch.
Prospective rich Canadians. They're the ones who send me the golden pants.
That's exactly, and they go to the Yukon and they dig for gold, and then they might strike it rich, and then
they can buy a boat.
And boy,
boat. Have I got the boat for you.
There we go. Okay. Okay. How long do you think you'll last as Duran Duran?
It's very difficult to say, isn't it? I mean, at the moment we're very happy with what we're doing, and you know, it's good to be back together again. We're going to do a big tour. We're going to do another album after we've done the tour, and then we'll see. But hopefully for a long time.
So we feel as refreshed as when we did the first album. It's got the same. I mean, I can view solo projects now with in the same way as when we did the first album. People would have asked us the question. And I think with this we're so revitalized. You know, there doesn't seem any point that we've tried. We worked with a lot of other people. You know, we've done from everything from Band Aid to all our solo things. I mean, we've worked with like everybody over the last couple of years, and we've realized we still make the best music with each other. So
that's interesting because on the Arcadia album, you had all these different guests. On this one, you have very few guests.
It was very important for us to do that, I think. It was, well, let's face it, that's what Arcadia and Power Station were all about. It was about us going out into the wild blue yonder and picking up as much experience and inspiration as we could from outside, then coming back and working in a very tight unit.
No, we made a point of resisting temptations to. I mean, it didn't really. The chance didn't really. I mean, like when you wanted Miles Davis and stuff like that. I mean, it became so obvious that we should make a record that is very much coming out of our head, and we were working with the best producer for the job. And I mean, you know.
Okay, one of my questions: of all the people that you worked with, who do you think had the most musical influence on you in this album? Because you've all worked with different people
on
now.
this album.
All right. On this album now.
It's interesting.
I mean, apart from each other, I mean, it's very important to say that we really do influence each other a lot. Not in a direct way, not in the way that we'd copy each other's styles or anything, but what I write is something that they will react to, and vice versa. What John puts down on the bass is something that I react to. When he does something new, I do something new. When I do something new, he does something new. It all works like that. So that's actually the biggest inspiration.
I think it's difficult to put your finger on it. I mean, from the Arcadia thing, I think that I learned different things from different people. I mean, we used a Japanese musician called Masami, yeah, and I mean, he's just so delicate about the way he approaches music. It's just a very different thing for him. He analyzes things and very carefully puts in just the tiniest part that he thinks fits the right thing. And I learned a lot about how to space things from him, actually.
I can honestly say, actually, of all the musicians outside of Duran Duran who I've worked with, the most influential is Nile Rodgers, quite simply. Thinking about it, you know, really thinking about it. I mean, he's taught me more about sort of rhythm, singing, you know, him and Steve Ferrone's beats.
Is he sort of a member of the group now, Nile Rodgers?
No, he's not. He was our producer. He produced this album, and he will maybe come and play with us on stage.
Oh, that's interesting. Like, actually go on tour with you?
Well, he might come and visit us. I mean, he's not going to come be a full-time member of the touring party. No.
What about you, John? Who has been a biggest influence on you?
I don't know. I mean, Robert was an influence, not a musical influence, he was an influence on my head. He told me, he kind of, you know, I don't know, it was more a mental thing with him. Bernard, musically, you know, but Bernard and Niall are a two-pronged thought, really. Niall, I mean, you know, it's like a whole lot of different things. I can't focus on one particular person because the whole thing's a blur. The last 18 months is. It's just a blur of different collaborations and influences, and somehow I think probably if you listen to the record, I mean, if you listen to the new album, you know, I don't know, maybe you'd be able to pick it up from there. I don't know.
I heard some Prince.